Hi, good morning students. So welcome back to the class. So in our last two classes we have discussed the classification of matter, right? So in this class we will discuss the properties of matter, what are their properties and how they can be measured. Okay. Now before starting the class, it's a request to all the students, those who have not subscribed my channel, so please subscribe the channel as for your benefits. Okay. So without delay, let's start the class. Okay. So today we are going to discuss what your properties of matter. Okay. Was a topic called properties of matter. Now, you know what, when we are talking about properties of matter, they are of two different types. Okay. The properties of any matter can be of two different types. One, we are talking about what call your physical property, and another we are talking about what? Chemical property. Yeah, physical and chemical property. So what exactly the meaning of physical and chemical property? Let's go through these things, right? Now students, when we are talking about the physical property of any matters, you know what, it means that these are the some measurable property just by looking at the matter, right, without changing the composition. Consider you are having a road here, say like this, okay, or say this box here. Now if you are supposed to discuss the physical property of this, you know, you just have to look at this particular matter and you just have to describe whatever the thing it is possible to describable. Clear? That is what, you can't change anything from here. You can't change the constituent of this particular matter when you are discussing the physical property. Consider this in pen, right? So you just have to look at this and you have to explain the thing, whatever it is possible. So that is what we are talking about, physical property of that particular matter. Clear? So when we are discussing physical property, you can't change the identity. Means suppose you are breaking down this or you are cutting it, you can't do that. Clear? So there what we are talking about, physical property of any matter. Now if these things are happening, then what are the physical property that we can have, right? So this question arises. Now the physical property, suppose you can talk about what called its physical state. What is the physical state, whether it is solid, liquid or gas, right? You can talk about what call your color, it included in physical property. Odor means what it smell, right? How it's smell, or melting point, boiling point, all these things are included in what call your physical property. Okay. So when we are discussing physical property, we are not changing the identity of the compound. You are doing nothing to that particular compound. Consider this. If I ask you what is the physical property, so you will look at the compound, right? It is solid, isn't it? Then you will say that it is a rod-like shape, right? Its color is black and white with red in somewhere, right? If you smell it, it doesn't have any odor. So this is the thing what you can describe regarding physical property. Got it? So, and when we are talking about chemical property, you know, chemical property, when you are discussing the chemical property, the things change internally. You can cut the compound, you can burn it, you can dissolve with water, you can dissolve with acid, you can react with base. So possibly whatever the chemical reaction that can be shown or that can be perceived by a matter, that is what we are talking about, chemical property. All chemical reactions included in chemical property, their acidity, their basicity, all this included in what call your chemical property. So the thing is that guys, when we are discussing the chemical property, we can change the identity, we can break it down, whatever, you can mix something else also, right? So this is what we are talking about, chemical property. So physical property, you can't change the identity of the compound. In chemical property, you can change the identity of the compound. Got it? That means what? The same compound, you can convert it into different form by reacting with someone else. So in short, what we can say that whatever the possible chemical reactions that can be performed by a compound, these are what we are talking about, chemical property of a compound. Clear, students? So here, you know what, we have to go through some of the physical property and with their units. Okay. So as we're talking about the physical property and their units, there are, you know, 7 base physical quantity and their units are there. Okay. 7 what? Base physical quantity and their units. And the unit which we are talking about is what call your SI unit. Okay, the International System of Unit. This is the standard unit. That means what, you know what, all over the world the people will use same unit for some of the physical property. So like if I say length, the SI unit is a meter, So people who are living in Japan or China or America or India, they will pronounce the unit as what? Meter only. So this is what we are talking about, international system of unit. Try to remember the full form of this. Sometimes this is also asking in the examination, what is the full form of or what those SI stand for. Okay, this type of questions are asking. Now you know what, if you have seen that we have written here base, right? Base physical quantity. Now if you ask me the why the term base is included here, then I will tell you, you know what, with the help of this physical quantities, what we can do is that, you know, we can calculate the SI unit of some other physical quantity, and that other physical quantity which are calculating the SI unit, that will be pronounced as now what? Derived physical quantity. Suppose if I say length is in basic unit whose SI unit is meter, then if I calculate volume, the volume is what? Length into breadth into height. So meter into meter into meter, it will be meter cube, isn't it? So volume is in what? Derived quantity. From where we have derived? From length. So length is what? Base physical quantity to calculate the volume of a particular thing. Got it, students? So here I will go through this 7 base physical quantity, and we will go through some other topic also. Say look, some base physical quantity, one is what we are talking about, length, and the SI unit for this length is what we are talking about, meter, M-E-T-R-E. And you know what, we are using symbols for them. Okay, we are using symbol for them. This is one physical quantity. Another one is your what? Mass, and it is what? Your kilogram. Okay, and it is written as kg. Another one is your what? Time. Okay, time, and it is what called your second, s. Now another one is your thermodynamic temperature. Okay, and the SI unit is your Kelvin, and we are using K for the symbol. Next, your electric current. You guys know this, isn't it? Electric current, and we are saying what it is? Ampere, capital A. Okay, and more physical quantity is your another one, amount of substance. It is mole, and the symbol is MOL, and this is always asking in the examination what is the SI unit of amount of substance. Okay, and another one is there, luminous intensity, and this is known as candela and CD. So among this the first 6 we are using generally. Okay, so you have to know this physical quantity and their units. Okay, and these are known as what called your base physical quantity. So what I am telling is that with the help of this physical quantity, we can able to calculate some unit of some derived quantity, say like density, right, volume and all that we can calculate through all these things. Okay, students, so you have to remember these things. Okay, now after this, you know, we will go through some of the derived physical quantity. Okay, and there are some derived physical quantity and some other quantities are also there which are not base. Okay, and there are probably we have to go through 4 or 5 physical quantities there. These are very simple things, guys. You have already got these things, so you may not have that much of interest also, but you require these things. Okay, you try to go through them. One, we are talking about mass. Another, we are talking about weight. Another, we are talking about density, volume, and one more there, and that is what called our temperature. Okay, temperature. Now if we look about the mass, when we are talking about mass of a substance is what? The amount of matter present in it. Suppose if I say that the mass of this box, suppose what is the amount of matter? So 6 balls, right? So 6 balls will be what? Amount of matter present in this substance. So it will be its mass. But the same thing when we are talking about weight, you know, same 6 ball when we are talking about weight, then what it means that what is the force exerted by gravity on this object? Okay, the force exerted by the gravity on this object, how forceful it is pulling towards itself by the gravity, that is what we are talking about, weight of a substance. Okay, mass is the amount of matter present, and what call your weight is what call your force exerted there. Okay, force is what? It's exerted there. So But there is also a difference, you know guys. What says, you know, suppose consider this is earth surface, right? And if we move what, upward direction from the earth surface, then what we know, the force of gravity is decreasing, right? The force of gravity is decreasing. So when we move like this from the earth surface upward direction to the earth surface, so what happens, the force of gravity also what decreases. So right, so the weight of the particular substances will be what, change. Okay, place to place it will change. But if you don't decrease the amount of matter, suppose if you decrease the 6 volt to 5 or 4, then the mass will also decreases. But as we don't what to say, decrease the number of particles here or the ball here, so then it will what, the mass of the particular substance will remain constant. But as you move upward direction from the earth surface, then what, due to the less force of gravity, so what happens, the weight of that particular substance can be changed. Okay. So now let's talk to density, right? So when we are talking about density, what we know, that mass, right, and then particular volume, per unit volume. So if you look at the SI unit, now what we know, that this is derived physical quantity. If you look at the unit of this physical quantity, then what we know, the SI unit of mass is what, kilogram, right? And volume is what, called your meter cube, isn't it? Because volume, if you look at volume, it is what, length into breadth into height. And I don't think between length, breadth and height there is difference, right? But just difference in with respect to different axes. But breadth is also in length, right? Or height is also in length. So what it will happen, meter into meter into meter, right? So it will be meter cube. So isn't this is a derived quantity? And what is the base unit here we are using? That is meter, right? So isn't length will act as a base physical quantity to calculate the SI unit of volume or to calculate volume, right? Now similarly, if you look to the physical quantity for this, SI unit for this, so kilogram meter cube, right? So when we are using kilogram and meter cube, so it will become what called your kg per meter cube, right? So this is what our derived unit or derived physical quantity, because with the help of this mass only or the volume only we will able to calculate the SI unit of density. Okay. So these two are our derived physical quantity. Next, let's look at the temperature. Okay. Now you know guys, when we are talking about temperature, okay, when we are talking about temperature, this temperature can be calculated in 3 different units. You know, we are using some different units to calculate this. Okay. Okay. Then is what? Look, one is known as degree Celsius scale, another one is known as degree Fahrenheit, and another one is known as what, your Kelvin scale. If you look at the different scale here, then here it is start from 0 degree Celsius and ended to what call your 100 degree. Here it start from 32 degree Fahrenheit to your 212 degree Fahrenheit, and here it start from your 273.15 Kelvin to 373.15 Kelvin. Okay, so these are the different scales which we are using here. To the one temperature scale can be converted to another one. Okay, if we are having a degree value, you can easily convert it into what, Fahrenheit, or if you are having Fahrenheit value, you can easily convert it into what call your Kelvin scale. So for this we are having some relation also. Okay, for degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit we are having a relation which is degree Fahrenheit equal 9/5 degree Celsius value plus 32. So from this we can calculate degree Celsius value also, right? How? It will be what? 5/9 degree Fahrenheit value minus 32. Okay, and another one, your what, degree Celsius and Kelvin scale we are having in relation, and that is Kelvin equal to what, degree Celsius value plus 273.15, or if you calculate degree Celsius value, then Kelvin value minus 273.15. So these are the different relations which we are using here. Okay students, and with the help of this we can go through these things. Okay, so these are very simple things which I have discussed in today's class. So in our next class we will discuss some of the that topic where when we are calculating this physical quantity, when we are expressing this physical quantity, so sometimes we may have some problem. That means what? When we measure this physical quantity, there may be some problem, right, while representing the values and all that. So we will, how to represent those values, so we will go through these things in our next class. So after this, you try to go through all these things, you try to go through some relations and all that. Okay, so thank you so much, students.